19 coolest things about ice cream. You can basically buy ice cream anywhere now, but how much do you really know about this fun, frozen, and incredibly diverse dessert? 19. Ice cream and salmon. You've probably heard of some weird ice cream flavors out there, but most people haven't tried salmon and ice cream. It's a dish that's more common than you would think. At the Gelato Messina in Darlinghurst, Australia, they serve a salmon and white chocolate ice cream they named White Bait. At the Swiss fine foods company, Movenpick, they serve some salmon with a scoop of lemon lime sorbet. Other recipes have suggested using smoked salmon and serving it with ice cream flavored like horseradish. 18. All the flavors. Baskin-Robbins may only serve 31 flavors or so at a time, but one of the best things about this frozen dessert is that the possibilities are endless. And people have really tried pushing the boundaries when it comes to every new flavor. From horsehide flavor to shrimp and corn and cheese, there's no shortage of weird ice creams out there. At the same time, things like Rocky Road, Banana Split, and Rainbow Ice Cream wouldn't exist if someone didn't think of mixing a bunch of different things together. 17. Chocolate or vanilla. Most people may consider vanilla the default flavor as it's commonly used as a base for different flavors. Yet according to history, chocolate ice cream was invented before vanilla was. Because chocolate was a prevalent drink, especially a frozen drink, it became an ice cream flavor first, with the first recorded frozen chocolate recipe coming from Naples, Italy, in a book called The Modern Steward, written by Antonio Latini and published in 1693. Today, chocolate ice cream ranks as the second most common ice cream flavor in the United States, after, you guessed it, vanilla. 16. Astronaut Ice Cream. Freeze-dried ice cream, also more commonly referred to as astronaut ice cream, has never actually been to space. Transcripts from the Apollo 7 reveal that astronauts ate chocolate pudding, but apparently, the ice cream we've all tried as kids claiming to be eaten in space has never actually been eaten in space. The Whirlpool Corporation developed freeze-dried ice cream in a contract with NASA, yet no Apollo mission, space shuttle, or International Space Station ever included it. Astronauts, however, ate regular ice cream in space stations before the 1970s. 15. The truth about Haagen-Dazs. We see the logo for Haagen-Dazs and think it must be so European, when in actuality, this popular ice cream company originated from the Bronx. Founded in New York during 1961 by Ruben and Rose Mattis, the two wanted their ice cream brand to sound Danish as a tribute to how Denmark was able to evacuate thousands of Jewish citizens during Hitler's reign. But the name isn't actually Danish. The language doesn't even use umlauts. The Mattises would not open their first retail store until 1976, though now you can find their brands sold all over the world. 14. Peelable Ice Cream. In 2010, Nestle launched a new way to eat ice cream, eating it on a stick like a popsicle, but peeling away at the surface like a banana. As seen on the animated children's show Eskimo Monkey that airs in Thailand, this product makes eating ice cream just a touch more playful. It found success in Thailand, leading to more launches in different countries the more popular it became. The company hopes it will promote its nutritional foundations as the item contains no artificial coloring and contains low sugar and low fat. 13. Oyster-flavored ice cream. Sounds downright disgusting, but oyster-flavored ice cream was a favorite during the 1800s, said to have existed since 1842. One of the earliest recipes for this concoction was found in the cookbook The Virginia Housewife by Mary Randolph. It has also been suggested this flavor was popular in the White House, eaten often by Dolly Madison. This dish also appears in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, apparently a favorite of Mark Twain's too. People back then considered this a luxury food, said to have a savory taste. 12. Pie a la mode. There's a confusing history when it comes to the pie a la mode dish you so often see served in restaurants. Many used to think it was invented by Professor Charles Watson Townsend, who frequently ordered the combination of apple pie and vanilla ice cream at the Cambridge Hotel in Washington County, New York, back during the late 1800s. But it seems we should credit John Guerrier of Duluth, Minnesota, for coming up with the warm and chilly dessert, as he's the man who apparently made it and gave it its name back in 1885. Guerrier served it at his restaurant with blueberry pie. 11. Ice cream for dogs. Another amazing thing about ice cream, your dog can enjoy it too. Different companies have developed ice creams that are safe for your best friend to eat. though you could make your own dog-friendly ice cream at home if you wanted to. If you don't have ice cream specific for canine consumption, experts suggest buying plain, unsweetened yogurt and sticking it in the freezer, though not every dog can digest yogurt well. So you're probably better off getting dog ice cream for your pet, who will appreciate the gesture, especially during hotter weather. 10. Sundaes for Sundaes. Although we spell Sunday, the dessert, different than we do Sunday, the day, they were really made for the start of the week. An ice cream sundae typically consists of vanilla ice cream topped with chocolate sauce or any kind of syrup, whipped cream, maraschino cherries, and sometimes nuts or sprinkles. There's a few backstories provided for the ice cream sundae, with one version saying that it came from Ed Berner's ice cream parlor. The owner, Edward Berners, supposedly wanted to find a loophole of not being allowed to sell ice cream sodas on Sundays as it would be violating the Sabbath. So instead, Berners just served ice cream and syrup, thus changing the game. 9. The Waffle Cone. We've talked a lot about ice cream, but what about the favorite way it's served? Many like to enjoy their cold treats wrapped in a crispy waffle cone. We see the two so often together that most of us probably assume they were invented together. But the waffle cone didn't come to be until 1904, when a traveling salesman named Abe Dumar told an ice cream vendor at the World's Fair in St. Louis to serve their ice cream in rolled waffles sold by a different vendor after they ran out of bowls to put the ice cream in. 8. The exotic vanilla. Vanilla may be considered a bland choice nowadays, but once upon a time, it was one of the rarest ice cream flavors in the world. It was a rare find to get something vanilla flavored during the 1700s, with vanilla ice cream considered an exotic treat. It would be a difficult spice to acquire until the mid-1800s, where vanilla then became more and more common to find in the West. 7. Rolled ice cream. Then we come to one of the newest trends, rolled ice cream. Also known as stir-fried ice cream, seeing what regularly comes in round scoops as looking like rolled pieces of paper instead might seem odd, but the public seems to be taken with it. Rolled ice cream started in Thailand in 2009, but would not reach popularity until 2012. This trend would then spread to the neighboring countries of Malaysia and Cambodia, and then worldwide by 2015. A mixture of milk and flavors gets poured onto a pan with a temperature that reads between -18 to -35 degrees Celsius, solidifying the ice cream. The result has sometimes been said to be drier than regular ice cream, but it has retained its popularity anyhow. 6. Chocolate chip cookie dough. It's weird to think that chocolate chip cookie dough couldn't be bought from stores until the 90s, but it's the truth. The first company to sell the flavor of unbaked cookies was Ben & Jerry's, who first put it out there for the public in 1991. It all started on their flavor suggestion board from an anonymous person and would turn into a classic flavor. 5. Mashed potatoes or ice cream. We're not sure how to feel about this one. Photographers may use mashed potatoes, modified mashed potatoes, in place of real ice cream when having to take pictures for advertisements. Spending all that time trying to capture the perfect photo means you need something that's gonna last. And, well, ice cream melts. And it's not exactly comfortable to sit in a room working while it has to be freezing for the ice cream to stay in place. So photographers take scoops of mashed potatoes to look like the real thing, complete with food coloring. 4. Only for the elite. We already talked about how flavors like vanilla were considered exotic, but back then, ice cream in general was a rich people thing. The history of ice cream goes back a long time, and in a bunch of different directions. Historical figures such as Catherine de' Medici and the first United States presidents were fond of ice cream. In Italy, ice cream was served in the royal houses, a practice that was picked up in other European countries. And it wasn't until the late 1800s did the rest of the people below the status of the elite get more access to cheaper ice cream. 3. Charcoal ice cream. To be clear, it's actually called almond charcoal ice cream, in case you were afraid it would just taste like charcoal. Lately, one of the trendiest ice creams on Instagram includes the almond charcoal ice cream, also referred to as goth ice cream, for its all-black color, often served in a matching black waffle cone. Places like Little Damage Ice Cream Shop in Los Angeles serve this new flavor. And let's be honest, it looks photogenic. 2. Early ice cream recipes. Anyone who had to make ice cream in school, you know the most basic ice cream takes some milk, half and half, vanilla flavoring, sugar, and a bunch of ice. But back then, it wasn't so simple. Take a recipe made by Lady Anne Fanshawe. The ingredients included typical stuff like sugar and boiled cream, but it also needed something called ambergris. And for those who don't know, that's whale vomit. So just be happy for the basic ingredients in your ice cream now. 1. Ice cream origins. No one really knows who exactly came up with ice cream first. Emperor Nero of Rome supposedly would send people to fetch snow so that he could mix it with fruit and honey. Some say it came from China, where they mixed rice and milk with snow as a dessert, a dish brought over by Marco Polo. This has been the more accepted theory, with historians saying ice cream was first eaten around 1618 to 97 AD in China. Either way, the world still has ice cream to this day.